Well, apparently in Indiana, when you have a lot of controversy surrounding you and allegations, possibly even criminal allegations against you for your conduct as a judge, you get promoted. At least that's what seems to have just happened in the Allen Superior Court Board's decision to put Judge Gull there as their new chief judge to help guide the court's leadership for the next 2 years. The big question that comes to mind not only is, well, should she be taking that position or in that position, is this going to affect the Delphi murder case? Is this some sort of a path, maybe behind the scenes, for her to swiftly exit to stage right as a new judge comes in and not have to say, I recuse myself? Here to discuss, Neama Rahmani, former federal prosecutor. What are we witnessing here right now?
Tony, I say this having worked as a prosecutor and worked for the government at both the federal and city level, and sometimes, yeah, folks working for government could be a judge, could be a prosecutor that aren't necessarily the most qualified, and they've just outlasted others. And lo and behold, that's how you end up being the chief. So I'm not saying that's what happened here. Maybe there's a rotation, maybe it's based on seniority, but I mean, here's someone that, at least with respect to how she handled the Delphi hearing, pretty clear that she made some evidentiary conclusions without allowing folks the opportunity to be heard. That's a no-no. She tried to withhold the transcript from the Court of Appeal, also a no-no. So not a big fan of how she's handled this case. And I mean, we've talked about 2024 and this being a new year, but this case, based on how the delays and the defense motions, and who knows if we're going to get new lawyers in this case for Richard Allen. I would be surprised if we get a trial anytime in 2024. I think we're probably 2025 or even later in this case.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just crazy. I mean, this is something where the attorneys that Richard Allen wanted, they wanted this thing to go to trial by now. I mean, it should have been ready to go. His right to a speedy trial clearly being violated, and now we have this hiccup in the case. It could be good, it could be bad, I guess, depending on how one looks at it. What do you think the odds here are that she is going to stay on in this case, or like I said, is this a way to exit, kind of gracefully?
Yeah, it may be a way for her to exit. Let's not forget, the first judge in the case didn't want the case.
Hmm.
So, now on the second judge, we may end up getting a third. And you said this is a frustrating case. Obviously, the defendant has a right to a speedy trial. He also has a Sixth Amendment right to counsel. We'll see how that all plays out. But, the victims in this case have been waiting for answers for quite some time. This is a case that, podcasters have been talking about for years. There were really no answers. We thought we were going to go in one direction. And Richard Allen really came out of the blue as someone that was arrested. We don't have a whole lot of the evidence in the case, although we believe that's him in the video, and we'll see what the search warrants show. So this is a case that has been delayed for quite some time. Probably the most delayed case right now. This and Rex Heuermann, the Long Island
Yeah.
serial killer. So hopefully, things can start moving faster. And if Richard Allen did indeed kill these two young girls, he can be brought to justice.
With given these new responsibilities, serving as a 2 year term as the court's chief judge, how much more responsibility does that put on Judge Gull and her time and energy that she has to do her job, overseeing a case like this, and then whatever else is entailed with these new responsibilities?
Well, if you're the chief judge, you get some administrative responsibilities. So sometimes depends on the court. If you become the chief or you're a little bit more senior, you might be able to take a reduced caseload. But again, unless she's going to recuse herself from the case, and let's not forget the defense has asked her to be
Hmm.
disqualified, right?
Hmm.
They're saying, look, here's someone that's actually biased and made some inappropriate and improper rulings. We want a new judge. So we'll see what the appellate courts do. But whether it's because of this new chief judge status or whether the appellate courts force her hand, here's someone that may have to step down one way or the other.
Would her stepping down from the Delphi case, would that affect this promotion in any way, shape, or form? Maybe promotion is the wrong word, but would it affect that in any way if they were to look at this and go, the Supreme Court says, yeah, you shouldn't be on this case. You did violate these things. Would that not? I mean, I'm thinking in terms of in like a workplace or something like, oh, they
Mhm.
did this. They're probably not qualified to do that. Is that's not how this works, though, right?
No, not necessarily. Judges do make mistakes and legal errors all the time. They get reversed on appeal. That's what those appellate judges,
Mhm.
they're paid the big bucks to do. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have to recuse themselves or they're disqualified from the case. It's just embarrassing. Trial judge likes to be reversed, but
Mhm.
everyone has a boss and someone overlooking them, and even Judge Gull. So if she is reversed, doesn't necessarily mean she's got to get off the case. We may have her on for quite some time.
Is anybody who sees that, oh, you have Judge Gull. Oh, a little bit of cringing going on, I think, for many people.
I think so. I think certainly from the defense lawyer perspective, with respect to how she handled that hearing
Yeah.
with the leak of the materials that were subject to protective order, not the best way to do so.
Yeah. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks